Do you want to grind for Fateshards? Are you poor and cannot afford any upgrades? Do you want to go from rags to riches? Then look no further and simply follow this guide.
Oh look, new patch notes, let's read through it. Expansion dates, etc. blah blah blah. What's that? They're nerfing Vigorating Strike?
Hey, what's up guys, Weekend Version here with another Dawncaster video. Originally I was going to make a guide for Sunforge, but since this is the last day of the patch, I thought I'd showcase one of the cheese builds that you could do with Vigorating Strike. The key to do this is to make sure that you turn on infinite rolls for your weapons, talents and cards, and then you can pick Knuckles and make sure that you pick all 3 strength attributes, and the talent we're looking for is Hemorrhager. So we got it on the 3rd roll there, and now we keep rolling until we find Vigorating Strike. So we found it there. And actually, because we got Rune of Persistence, this means we can add Persistent on Vigorating Strike, which means we don't need to roll Persistent at the end of the fight. So I'll pick it. And then for the rest of the cards, basically we're trying to find as many draw cards. Living Weapon, Inoculation, I'll pick Inoculation. Battle Vigor. We're basically trying to find talents or cards that let us draw or give us mana, and for talents, any talent that gives you health. Yeah, Benevolent is perfect. Any talents that increase the healing effects, or talents that make your heals turn into armor or increase your armor, those are all great talents. So we don't really need, we just need survivability talents, since damage would not be an issue for this deck. I'll pick Sunder. And in terms of cards, if you can't find any draw cards, try to not pick any cards that cost a lot, 2+ mana, because initially the hardest thing is actually triggering the finale. So cards that cost health are actually ideal, and cards that draw, just to go through your deck quicker to find that Vigorating Strike. So we'll fight the first boss, the Breaker. The Impact, Strength, Weapon, Knuckles. So the reason why I prefer Knuckles with this build is because you can weave in attacks while stacking the Deep Cut. So the idea for the deck is that so Vigorating Strike says that it does damage, and if you trigger its finale, which triggers if you have 2 or less cards in your hand, it inflicts a deep wound on the enemy. And if an enemy has 5 deep wounds, they automatically die, regardless of HP. So the goal is to play 5 Vigorating Strikes on the enemy while triggering Finale. But because Finale is an inconsistent keyword, what we're trying to do is to add Reliable to Vigorating Strike, because adding Reliable means that the finale subtext will always trigger, which means that we don't need to play around it. Okay, so we rolled Reliable on our first try, so that's amazing. We'll put it on Vigorating Strike. So yeah, now Vigorating Strike will always apply a deep wound. And the next keyword we'll try to look for is memorized. So once you have memorized and reliable, you have Vigorating Strike at the start of your hand every time. And then once we have those two keywords, we can copy it 5 times. And once we have 5 copies at the start of our hand, we just simply play all those cards to defeat any boss. Yeah, so the Knuckles is just a weapon to get you through the early game. So you can play in between cards to trigger the cascade to get a free copy. So the Weeping Mother is an annoying boss regardless, because you can only play 4 cards a turn. And with Knuckles we're trying to play more than 4 cards. We'll draw a card, play the Knuckles, Battle Cry. I'm just trying to look for Vigorating Strike, but I think I can take it down in the next turn, in this turn. Play Vigorating Strike, yeah, it's dead. Yeah, so this build basically will no longer be playable in the next patch. Because it's not an intended exploit. So yeah, unfortunately you won't be able to play this from now on, but I just wanted to showcase it for you guys just to see how this plays out. Play Body of Steel into Surge, Knuckles. And if we can get Rune of Persistence and Vigorating Strike in the same hand, we can apply Persistence to it for the rest of the game. And Persistent means that it doesn't discard at the end of your turn. We can give it Memorized now, so we'll give it to Vigorating Strike. We'll fight Daisy. Yeah, so we can give it to Vigorating Strike. So now Vigorating Strike has all 3 keywords: Memorized, Persistent, and Reliable. So we just need to copy it 5 times now. And for the endgame rewards, the idea is that we're trying to get as many rerolls as we can. Because the final Fateshard amount scales with the number of rerolls you end up with. So try to not spend rerolls and gather as many as you can. So for now we'll just play through our hand. And the idea is to trigger Cascade as much as possible. And if we can't, then we try to play Vigorating Strikes to at least get some bleeding in. And Vigorating Strike also helps with the sustain, because Hemorrhager gives us some regenerate as well. Yep, so it's dead. You can get a random talent. We got... okay, that's not bad. To be honest, normally you should be going for Enchantment Imbues, because it scales with the number of rerolls you have, so you get better choice. Play, draw a card, the Knuckles, trigger Cascade, another one. Let's go bigger. Standoff. So the idea that if most of your talents are defensive and you have enough ways to draw and survive, then it's just a matter of finding enough copies to get enough Vigorating Strikes. But for now, this is a much more, I guess, the hardest part is the combination you get. So if you low roll with the talents or the cards, you could end up with a deck that's too expensive. You can barely trigger a finale, or your talents don't really help you survive. So as you can see now, every time we heal, we get Reflect from Body of Steel. So we beat that boss, and we'll get the luck, plus 1 extra reroll. Fight the next boss. Play Vigorating Strike, Body of Steel, Surge, Knuckles, another one. Yeah, I could have sequenced that a little bit better, but doesn't really matter. So the goal is to try and survive fights, basically. Trigger Cascade on the Knuckles. And Benevolent is really helping us get through these fights as well. Because with 2 Regenerate we're healing for a turn. So it's pretty good. Found another Vigorating Strike. So we'll try to trigger Cascade better this time. Play the Knuckles into another one. So we can take it down. I'll just play the Surges to gain some extra HP. Yep. So that went pretty well. Is there a card we can transmute? I think I'll just upgrade all cards. Fight the next boss. Elder Lich. So the Elder Lich is ethereal, which means their HP bar resets at the start of our turn. But it doesn't really matter for us, so we'll just keep playing our cards. Play Battle Cry into Knuckles, into another one. So yeah, you can see how you, by sequencing the Cascade, you can get a bunch of free hits in. And with the bleed from Hemorrhage, you can do quite a bit of damage, as opposed to other weapons which you need to actually spend mana on. Play Vigorating Strike, so that's 2 deep wounds. Play out the Knuckles. Don't think I can take it down this turn, but I think we can, yeah. Maybe we can, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're almost done with the first round of bosses. We'll get... I think we'll get Whimsical. So it's just a free enchantment. And we rolled... Oh, okay, so... So we'll play out the Knuckles and then the Vigorating Strike. So because Vigorating Strike also has Reliable, Dominated Jinx does not work on it, so that's great. So you can always play it regardless of the negative buffs you have, the negative keywords you might have. Just play the 2 enchantments. Play the first Knuckles. Then heal some HP. Knuckles again. Okay. So we did quite a bit of damage this round. And we're healing every time. We'll start with Hemorrhaging Strike, so that's 2 deep wounds. I'll play at the Big Eel. I'll play at that card. Play Surge, and then armor up a little bit. So we need to start doing more damage now. Sunder into Knuckles. I'll just pass. Okay, we'll play the Hemorrhaging Strike. We'll play the Surge into Armor, into Hemorrhaging Strike, into another Surge, and then we'll draw a card for nothing. Play the Armor, the Surge, Battle Cry, into Knuckles, and we can just take it out. Yep. Should have played the Surge before that, but that's just 3 HP. Okay, we finished the first portal, so that was pretty good. Let's take the +10 max HP. Just because there are a few fights in the third portal, which if we get unlucky, could do 40 damage a turn. So this is basically just insurance against those fights. Gain some armor, play Battle Vigor into Ball of Steel. Play Battle Cry into Knuckles again, another one. So you could see how powerful Cascade can get. We could try a Cascade. We could try a Cascade deck at some point in Sunforge, because I think that looks kind of fun. We drew another Vigorating Strike, that's nice. We'll just play out the rest of our hand. And let's play another Battle Cry into Knuckles, triggering Cascade. And then Vigorating Strike, another Knuckles. Yeah, I'll just take it down this turn. Okay, great. Duplicate, so we got the copy a card. So let's copy our Vigorating Strike, so that's 2. So you'll quickly see that how adding extra copies will massively speed up the game. Okay, every time we discard a basic attack, make an attack. Let's play 1 Knuckles, triggering Cascade with every card. Yeah, so that was a perfect Cascade trigger. And 2 deep wounds, so just 3 more. But I think we can kill him before we get to that point. Play Standoff, Battle Cry, Battle Vigor. Play Battle Cry into Knuckles, Yeah, we can just take it out this turn. Okay, let's take the luck. So Viola, luckily you can still kill Viola with deep wounds. Viola has piercing, so the shields will be less effective, but impervious still works. Play the Vigorating Strike. Knuckles. Draw another card. Play another Deep Wound. Then Cascade. So Viola has Charmed, and you need to get through the Charm before Viola takes damage. And Viola also applies Jinxed, which is kind of annoying, but not the worst. We'll just play our hand, play Body of Steel. Got another Vigorating Strike, so that's 3 stacks. Play the Surge first. Knuckles. Trigger a lot of Cascade this turn. That's another Vigorating Strike. 4 stacks. And that's the 5th, yeah. So that's how Deep Wound works. So we can reroll for a copy a card. Or we can, yeah, we'll just reroll. Upgrade everything else. So at this point I don't want to be adding extra cards. If anything, I want to remove cards from the deck. We'll play our 2 enchantments. We'll keep this Vigorating Strike for now, just because it gives us an extra draw. Play out the Knuckles. Try and do as much damage as we can. So we have 11 Reflect from Body of Steel, 8 Armor, and Regenerate also heals us a lot because of Benevolent. Play Battle Cry. Can play Knuckles. To Knuckles again. So we can kill it in our next turn. Actually, I think we can kill it this turn. Yep. So one more. Yeah, it's dead. So although this is a cheese build, you still kind of have to be aware of what you can and can't do. And copy a card. Another Vigorating Strike, so that's 3. So this boss starts with Darkness. But again, it doesn't matter with Deep Cuts. So we can just play all of our... I'll start with Battle Vigor, because that gives us an extra draw every turn. And we can play 2 of our Vigorating Strikes. Actually, we can play all 3 with the Surge. We'll pass the turn, so that's already 3 stacks. We just need to draw 2 of our Vigorating Strikes to finish this fight. Play Standoff. Internal conflict, Knuckles. Body of Steel into another Knuckles. Another Knuckles. That's one Vigorating Strike, we just need to draw another one. And if we draw this... Oh, I forgot about the Jinxed. I think we can just gain some armor. With the Knuckles again. Just pass the turn. So we just wait for the last Vigorating Strike. Oh, we draw 2, okay. So all these Frostbites don't matter either, we just kill the boss. So you can see why the devs would nerf this build, because it gets kind of brainless at some point. So you can start with playing our Vigorating Strike and do Brute Strength to Knuckle to weave in some cascades. Play the second one, another Knuckles. I'll play the enchantment so I can draw an extra card next turn. Play Battle Cry to Knuckles. To another one. And Cascade. So now we're drawing a card every time we play a basic attack. Just need to find another Vigorating Strike. Oh, found it. So this is the reason why having Persistent is also nice, because if you end up with no mana, then you can just keep it for the next round, or we can just finish off the boss now. Let's copy another card. Let's copy once again, Vigorating Strike, so that's 4. We just need one more. Let's go in. Can play. Start with the Vigorating Strike and see what we draw. Can trigger Frenzy on that card. Play another one. Knuckles into Vigorating Strike into Knuckles, so that's 4 stacks already. And 12 regeneration, which is 24 healing with Benevolent. I'll pass again. Play a standoff to Knuckles into, yeah, I can just kill it. So we got Lionheart. So Lionheart is actually S tier talent for this build, because all the health you gain from Regenerate, which happens at the start of your turn, gets converted into armor. So let's start with the Vigorating Strike, see what we draw. Play Battle Vigor. So we just need one more Vigorating Strike. And we have 4 in the deck, so it's likely that we draw it within the next 2 turns. So this boss applies a lot of frostbite on you, but again it doesn't matter with this deck, so we don't actually win by doing damage. We're past that point now. So that's the second portal, and that felt like a breeze, to be honest, so pick the 3 rerolls. So that's why this is like a really interesting game, because obviously the devs can't check for all possible interactions, so there's possibly another combination in the game that exists which would trivialize Sunforge, and that's part of what makes it fun, is all the combinations of cards you can do, the broken combinations. And I think with rerolling the starter weapon, the first talent and the first card, you can increase that likelihood of experimentation. Play the battle cry into Knuckles. So it has 4 wounds already. Let's see if we can play Body of Steel, trigger the cascade. Yep, unfortunate. 1 HP. It killed itself with Reflect. So that's good. Duplicate. So this is the last duplicate for Vigorating Strike. From now on, if you get offered duplicate, I would suggest, if you get offered duplicate from now on, then the best thing to do is to copy mana. Because ideally you want to be drawing mana after mana card, because you already have all 5 Vigorating Strikes. Can play the rest of our Vigorating Strikes, and it's dead. Yeah, so fights go from being challenging to incredibly easy now. Get the 3 rerolls. Avatar of the Pyre. So this boss has a regenerate mechanic, so it comes back to life. So deep wounds with this boss is not as straightforward. You have to basically kill it twice. And even though Vigorating Strike is a melee card, because of reliable evasion doesn't matter either. So we just need a way to trigger the bleed for it to die. Yep. We'll pick reliable, and I think we'll pick, yeah, we'll do reliable on Battle Cry, so it always draws a card. That's the Man Trap. I just play through our Vigorating Strikes. Give a mana into Vigorating Strike. And yep, that's dead. So 4 more bosses left. Let's see what we get as an imbue. None of these really do much for us, so I'll just pick any of them. Can pick the trio. Can pick the draw 3. Play Vigorating Strike into another one and pass. and the boss is dead. Take the 3 rerolls. So 3 more bosses. We'll just play through our strikes. So that's a lot of damage, but because of our regenerate and benevolent, we can regenerate quite a few. Because of our regenerate, we can recover that HP in the next fight. So I'm not too worried about that. We can remove a card, so I think we'll remove I'll remove Sunder. I'll play through our strikes. Play Brace just to get some of that defensive HP and regenerate more HP. Play our Surge and then the rest of our Vigorating strikes. Okay. So we can just pick Durable. And this is the last boss before we'll fight the Lord of Despair. Then it's dead. So yeah, we just played through pick 4 rerolls, so now we're at 26 rerolls. So obviously that's an insane amount of rerolls. That's a crazy amount of rerolls. Play Lightning Bolt into Vigorating Strike. So it stole our Regenerate, which is unlucky. Stole Regenerate, that's unlucky. And it's dead. So yeah, it's funny how bosses get easier at the last portal. So it doesn't really make sense. I fully understand why the devs would remove this combination. So I fully understand why the devs would nerf this strategy. Play another Vigorating Strike. So we fought Viola before. And you can see comparatively, like last time we took, what was it, like 5 turns to kill Viola. But now we just killed her in the first round. Okay, take 4 rerolls. We also fought the Marrow before. But this time we can just play through our hand. We got a mana card, that's great. We can get another one. Gonna get another one. And we'll just play the 5th one, and that's it, yeah. We can copy the battle cry. We can copy the battle cry, so that makes it more likely to draw mana cards. We'll play through our Vigorating Strikes. Play the 2 mana cards. Play the battle cry, and yeah. So... oh, I think because we didn't trigger the... okay. So we actually have to... we'll just play Battle Cry then.
into Knuckles. So I wonder why it's not dying. Is it a bug or... that's strange. But regardless, we can just straight up kill it the ethical way, as opposed to the cheat. Let's promote a card. At this point, really, the card choices don't really matter that much. I probably should have just dismissed the card. We'll just play through our Vigorating Strikes, Battle Cry, into another one, and just kill it. So that was a quick kill. So that was a quick kill. We picked the 4 rerolls. Yeah, Vigorating Strike. Into Battle Cry. And then play the... yeah, and instead. Let's copy Battle Cry again. And play through our strikes. The Vigorating Strike. And yeah, we can just pick Purity at this point. So this is the final boss, the spine. So the spine is unique. It needs 10 stacks of deep cut before it dies, and at the start of every round it loses 1 stack of deep cut. So we'll try to apply as many stacks as possible and as quickly as possible. So it's meant to be an anti-cheese mechanic, but even with that, if you copy Vigorating Strike enough times, then yeah, even this boss can't really stand against deep cut. So we can play our enchantments. Okay, standoff. Yeah, we're just waiting for the strikes to come. So that's another one. Five stacks. And pass the turn. That's 4 more Vigorating Strikes. Play the Battle Cry. So 8 stacks. Can play 1 more. Nine stacks. And then just keep playing the knuckles up. Yep, we drew it, so GG. So yeah, this build was very cheesy, and it trivializes a lot of the boss, especially the final stages, and you get a lot of fate shards, so it just broke the game. You could play this like 2-3 times a day and just unlock a bunch of your talents. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this interesting cheese build. Unfortunately, you can't really play this from today on, but you never know. You could always find the combination of cards that will just break the game, so that's also part of the fun, the deck building aspect. So thanks for watching, and bye bye.